Hey guys, welcome back to Astrology in the Wild. Key Tyler here. It has been a moment. Um, I'm sure you all have been feeling the tides of Pisces season and are ready for more motivation, more will, and maybe more determination to do things. It has been, I'd say it's been a really crazy year. If you think about what you were doing last April, how did it feel for you? Does it feel any different than it does now? And I'd say that in my own experience, there's a sense of groundedness that I finally feel when the equinox of last spring occurred. I felt like I was in a steady place, but it was kind of like a make believe. And on the day that it actually happened, when the sun transitioned into Aries, what I experienced was a new moon effect. There was a new moon on that day, and there was just a lot of uncertainty. And for the rest of the year, I felt that way, even though I would reach these moments of feeling like I was balanced and ready to go, and then all of a sudden I wasn't. And so I don't know, put comments in below if you had to start and stop a whole lot. I believe that this new Aries season, this new awakening that's happening for us all, because I know you can feel it. It's been palpable. uh, it is actually touching on the fact that maybe we'll actually finish the things, and start with and stick with things in a more continuous way. Let's go ahead and bring in the Aries season with just a little bit of grace. Take a deep breath in, hold the breath, and set an intention for what you are going to do with yourself in the next coming days. There's a reinvention happening. I want to say happy birthday to all the Aries people that I know, that I don't know, that are having a birthday. Happy vernal equinox for those that are living in the northern hemisphere. And in the southern hemisphere, while they're going through their fall, we are all feeling these energetic tides in a similar fashion. We're all starting something new, whether the weather, the weather around us is the same or not. I want to say happy Astrology Day for everybody who is into astrology. When it's March 20th, we all celebrate the day of astrology. A little addition, if you have the app AstroStar, this is what it looks like. So AstroStar is basically a community of astrologers, numerologists, people who do tarot, people who are clairvoyants. A lot of them are my colleagues and people that I very much respect that are in the industry. Anyways, when you download this app, you have access to us, and I'm on that app. So on March 20th, the very first day, Astrology Day, I'm teaching a yoga class to bring the body and the mind back together, or to start the process, because it's going to be a little bit of an uphill battle. So join me. That'll be this Wednesday. Download the app. It's a free class. I'm doing it every Wednesday at noon Pacific. I hope you can be there. And we'll go ahead and start the broadcast. About the day, the time, we are bringing in equal day and night. And so we're starting to see a balance. Okay, we're coming to a place where things don't feel so extreme, but things are on the precipice. You can feel that you are required to put in a little action into some things. And after today, the daylight will progressively get longer until the night of the summer solstice. So between now and summer solstice, we are widening our horizon. We are feeling more warmth. And again, this is in the northern hemisphere. If you're in the southern hemisphere, it's the opposite. And what we're seeing is within us a sense of purpose, and not in that cliche way of, you got to find your purpose in order to be happy in life. But I'm saying maybe a purpose that you are not completely fully aware of, that is coming to you and has been seeking you and is ready for the newness that you have and are bringing into the world. We're just coming out of Pisces season, and Pisces season really has to do with giving a chance to relax, restore, and let go. But more importantly, having the opportunity to let things dissolve and float away. And so I don't know if you're feeling like I am, but I don't know, the last couple days of Pisces season, I was really feeling a little down. And I was feeling like there were things that I wanted to let go, yet they were still in my awareness as emotions, still in my awareness as things that I needed to address. And I think the most important part about it is what I realized is that I was just tired. I'm tired of myself, like I want to get back into my body in a way that makes sense. And so Pisces season gave us the opportunity to kind of leave our bodies for a little while and kind of explore the mind, because Mars has been in Aquarius. And maybe we weren't really in our minds. Maybe we were just kind of numbing out, excessive eating, um, needing to control our emotions through particular activities, feeling slumped, feeling like you can't get off the couch, feeling like you're sleeping too much. There was a lot of that. And I'm not saying that it's all going to go away in the blink of an eye. But again, like we mentioned earlier, as the sun experiences longer and longer days till we get to the summer solstice, you too will get more and more energy as the days progress. So give yourself a moment to wake up. Give yourself a moment to realize, hey, I'm in a body. I've got to address myself. I've got to tackle my goals. I have to really think about my health and my wellness. I've got to think about my goals. There's a lot to think about because survival is on the line. And that is very much a Mars and Aries function, is survival. Doing what I got to do to survive. Because if I don't do it, no one else will. You know what I mean? This new cycle of growth, will, and determination it's exponential. So if you are able to give yourself time for meditation, time to sit down with your favorite singing bowl or your favorite YouTube meditation, some good dope beats, put in your earbuds, that's going to really help you seed. You want to seed something beautiful for yourself. I want to see you seed something beautiful. I want that for myself. And so make a ritual out of this day. And I'd say make a ritual out of it anywhere in Aries season. Pay homage to the new things, say goodbye to the old things, because you're taking off these jackets, revealing new skin, revealing yourself in a new way. And it's really important to understand that that's okay to do. On this day, as Aries season, as the sun changes over into Aries, funny enough, the moon is in Leo. And the energy of this day is like a firecracker. You wake up and you feel like, you know what, I'm just going to make the thing. And we'll just see how it goes. And maybe you'll touch the things, but maybe you won't actually do it. But every day I encourage you to touch the things that are creatively brewing inside of you. This is a very poignant time to focus on yourself and bring out the best of who you are. This whole Aries season, from now until April, before Taurus season comes in. So from now until mid-April, you're going to be really focusing on recreating yourself. And there is a huge possibility that it's going to stick. There is a nice amount of earth energy in the chart that is grounding you, keeping your ideas practical, but also bringing you to a level of upgrade. So with Mars being in Aquarius, there's also that energetic vibe of, yeah, this is a little challenging, but if I do this, what I'm going to get out of it is going to be more than I could have thought. The sun is only in Aries for about 30 days. And so if you really want to harness the power of this and the nodal axis that is in Aries and Libra, I implore you, pray to the Martian gods and to pay attention for this next 30 days will be guided by the planet Mars, which is why I've talked about Mars so much. So Mars is currently at 27 degrees Aquarius, what that actually means is Mars is in a very logical, strategical, and really mentally focused sign. And if you remember Aquarius season, just a couple months ago, I'm sure that you were really in your head a lot. And as we start getting to these last degrees, sometimes this will to do a thing mentally, it just gets convoluted. You don't actually end up doing anything of value, right? Or maybe so you think. Mars will be changing into the sign of Pisces, and we are going to really be dealing with our immune system. We'll talk more about that later. But really, the immunity that we're going to need to show up every day, to make a routine around these new concepts that we're trying to bring to light, you have to create a new way of doing things, because as we're seeing, the old ways are falling away, and what's awakening inside of us is a new way of being in union with each other, of supporting one another, of getting down to the nitty gritty of, I know all of these things are happening in life, but at a certain point, I got to figure out what makes me happy. And you're allowed to figure out what makes you happy, even amongst all of the chaos. I know there's wars going on in other countries. I know it's hard to go to the grocery store. I know many people don't have anywhere to live, but some of us do. Some of us are able to do something about these things. And so that's where I want your mind to focus. Instead of focusing on all of the bad, because we know it's there, instead we need to focus on, what are we going to do? What can we do? And when Mars turns into the sign of Pisces, we're going to start seeing solutions possibly outside of ourselves, ones that we couldn't think would happen. As human beings and as ones who have experiences, we live in different spaces, we have different experiences, and so therefore we're not able to really think of all of the things that could potentially happen for us. And so if you are at a loss for a strategy, I ask that first you select what can make you feel good, what does make you happy, and realize that if you have a little faith and let it go, things will come. So that's kind of the vibe that we're dealing with. The Mars is moving into Pisces on March 23rd, so in a few short days. And then we will have an eclipse in 10 days. There will be a separate video for that. And again, we're dealing with Mars and Venus for the rest of this year because of the nodal axis. Again, this is an electrifying time. This is still a time of letting go so that the newness can be created within you. So if you're doing any new practices, if you're thinking about doing anything new for yourself, that is health focused, that is mind body practice, anything in that category, I think you'll be successful. We're setting up new routines and new ways of being that, again, I think are going to really stick if we believe in it. So let's move into what the body is going to need during Aries season. So we're coming out of Pisces season. I don't know if any of you have already gotten a bug. I had a yoga class scheduled for last week, and just in Pisces fashion, just in Neptune fashion, the day before I was to give the class, I got sick with this really crazy cough. And there was, on that day, a lot of Taurus in the chart. And so, yeah, my throat was heavily affected, and I couldn't even give the class because I knew if I had to do any of those movements in the way Kundalini yoga focuses, I was going to be coughing like a crazy woman, right? And so I had to realize that things were out of my control, but that doesn't mean that I'm a failure, right? And so how many of you have started and stopped so many great things this year and are feeling like, well, I don't want to touch it because I can't trust myself enough to stick to the goal? It's like, try anyways. Try one more time. So Aries season, what does the body need? Well, coming out of Pisces season and into Aries season, we are dealing with, how does our immune system stand up to what's coming at us? What's coming out is full force. It is representing the outside world and how we bring that into our personal lives, how we bring that into our bodies. So it's going to be very important for you to get proper diet change. We need to start moving from these cold, slow foods and into foods that help the digestion, that light the fires, that keep it light, because we are in a process of detoxification. And so, if you've started detoxing, that's probably a good thing. Uh, most countries, most animals go through a deworming process. People in America need to adopt the same protocol. So, if you are into herbal remedies, black walnut is one of the best things, and eating a lot of papaya. In any case, there's a couple other amino acids that you could be taking along with that, but the black walnut is safe, and you can just do a cool little Google search on a detox with that. You'll find a lot of information. But now is the time for parasites to come out. Now's the time to maybe slow up on the meat just a tad, and just focus on things that are easily digestible. When you're clearing things out, unfortunately, there is a sense of getting the four-letter word, the C word, getting a cold. You know what I mean? And nobody really likes it. It might be inevitable. Pisces season has a tendency to take us out of our bodies, to take us into exploring spiritual realms or non-spiritual realms, and just exploring the world outside of us, and really diving deep into the things we enjoy, the good movies, the things that make us feel at one in our environment, what leaves us feeling completely in union. And we are needing to come back into our bodies, into our realities, into our awarenesses. And we are realizing, like, oh man, I think I was neglecting some things about myself for the past 30 days. Maybe I need to pluck my eyebrows. Or I really need to clean up my diet and kind of remove some of those complex carbohydrates. I gotta stop eating so much bread. I need to be more active instead of passive when it comes to what I want for myself. If someone asks me a question, it's less of, I don't care, and more of, I know what I want because I know what I need. We are, when we deal with Aries, we are dealing with the head. We're dealing with these more metaphysical ideas of coming from Pisces, being in that magical realm, being in the ethereal realm, being in the cosmos, and exploring all of the world of what it has to give to us. Whether that was your experience or not, that is what Pisces wants to bring into the awareness. And we have the tendency to forget and to neglect things here in the real world because we're just wanting to feel good. And so we seek the things that make us happy. At this point in time, when Aries season comes around, we start to realize again, like, oh, I've been neglecting these particular things, and I really like to address them now. I have the energy to address them now. I have the willpower, I have the determination, I have the fire. It's time. And so it's the idea of coming from the ethereal realm and coming in through the head and bringing and descending the energy down into the body. And working through the chakras is a thing. And if you join my yoga classes, you'll know that that is the primary focus, is focusing on a particular energetic center of the body. Because Aries deals with the head, we are going to focus on the third eye. We're going to focus in the head area. So you might be experiencing a lot of head tension, maybe headaches, maybe a stuffy nose because allergies. You might get a little blocked or backed up. You might be noticing that your hair is thinning in particular areas, or that you need to bring more circulation to your scalp. So a good ritual for today, because the moon is in Leo and Leo rules the hair and Aries rules the top of the head. If we're going to give any type of self-care, a scalp massage, um, washing the hair, giving it nice moisturization, and those types of things are going to be great ways of taking care of yourself as we move into this energy. Getting back to the things we promised ourselves that we were doing probably maybe 3 months ago, just getting back to it. If you pick up where you left off, you're going to be in a really good place. So don't try to recreate the wheel and think that things need to look a particular way in order to do it. Just go from the place that you last remember and go for it. It's not coming from or starting from a place of failure, rather, it's the place that you once were, and working with that energy, because it's strong enough to live within you now. It's strong enough to plant roots. It's already seeded itself, and it wants to be dealt with. It wants to be finished. And so Aries season can have us start a lot of new projects and not finish them. You'll be looking up in June and being like, oh my gosh, I abandoned so many things. don't abandon the things. Let's get back to the basics. Let's get back to what you had intended to do a couple months ago. So, working from the third eye, working with that chakra. If you are into any of those types of metaphysical healing techniques, give yourself a good massage. And we're wanting to work with the adrenal glands because Mars in Aries rules the adrenal functions. So, we're really going to need to pay attention to our caffeine intake. You may be more sensitive to caffeine right now than you normally would be. My suggestion is during Aries season, just to keep yourself safe, to keep you from having high blood pressure and having these really bad headaches, is to implement maybe a half calf variety if you're a coffee drinker. This gives your body a little bit of a break so it can break down some of the things in your body that have kind of been stagnant and living with you all winter. I know it's hard to do. I had to also wean myself off of caffeine because it was giving me terrible high blood pressure and really bad headaches, and it doesn't anymore. It kind of gives me this sense of calmness that I didn't realize was in me. So, working with the adrenals, working with anger. So, you might have sudden surges of heat, you might have sudden surges of anger where you're just like, what the, you know what I mean? Like, seriously asking yourself those questions because you're just so tired. You're just so fed up. You're just so ready to go. I feel you. I hear you. Impatience can run high. So don't get mad at yourself if you're kind of losing it and not realizing that you had so much anger. Approaching conversations in a way that gives you room to wiggle. And I say that because Aries has the tendency to have us be very quick with our words, and sometimes they cannot be thought out enough and end up hurting people's feelings or being very blunt, which is okay too. Just be careful of your intention, I guess. If that's what you're intending to do, then go ahead and get it. You know what I'm saying? But if that's not really your intention, then you got to think a little bit more before you say something. And when Mercury goes into retrograde on April 1st, April Fool's Day, you'll have that ability to kind of pull back and think a little bit more. So you can't control everything, but you can be aware of it. Yeah? Okay. So let's talk about some important transits now that we've addressed the body. Important transits. Now is the time to get out your calculator. Ooh, well, maybe your calculator. Get out your journals. Get out your planning materials. Get your calendar out. I'd like to give you a couple dates to plan for. Some days that you can probably insert some ritual or practice. Some days that you can really pull some tarot cards and ask some really deep questions. Some moon events. Just some transits are when the planets are shifting around in the sky and they're affecting us in particular ways through planetary connections, which we call aspects. And these aspects are geometrical calculations. And so, yeah, if you took out your calculator, you'd be right. So, if you are ready, I am ready. Friday, March 22nd, we have a Saturn-Venus conjunction in Pisces. What that boils down to is it's a really lovely day. It's a lovely day to give love, to be love, to share love, to put down the boundaries, to put down all of the structure and give yourself the opportunity to open up and have a little something more. I think it's just going to be a very nice day. So if you are wanting to show your love, it's on a Venus day, Friday. March 22nd is it. Next day, March 23rd, Mars will transition into Pisces. Another good day because of all of these planets. They're still together in the sky. There is this sense of, ooh, I feel so good with maybe the people that I'm meeting or what's being reflected back to me. I feel like there's some kind of hope. At least that's the energy that I'm hoping for you on the 23rd. March 25th, we're having a full worm moon in the sign of Libra. So the sun and moon are further away from the nodal axis, about more than 10 degrees. And so this is not considered an eclipse. The eclipse will happen in April, but it's still there. There's still the energy of what an eclipse has to bring, which is bringing something that you are not completely aware that was going to come for you, that was needed from you. And this full moon in Libra could bring some energy around your relationships, could bring some energy around what you could get from other people in order to finish your goals, or what people might need from you in order to finish theirs. What kind of collaboration can you make? So This is a very collaborative full moon. It's a moon that really wants to work with you, work with others, and just kind of balance things out. April 1st, Mercury goes into retrograde and will stay there for 3 weeks. So that means that you don't really want to start any contractual agreements unless they've been in a phase for a while and you are finishing up. You want to just hold tight on making any big purchases, because during retrograde season, when Mercury goes into retrograde, what we experience is having to spend money on larger items than we would have normally planned to. So a lot of times things can happen and we need funds in order to fix the thing. And it happens to usually be an upgrade, but something that we didn't plan for. So instead of going towards it with all of your full force and might, pull back a little bit and give yourself a time to think about it, to assess it. But also, when it comes to making large purchases, that's why, people's computers fall apart and, people's cars break down. And these are larger purchases. So be very mindful of your spending so that these things can naturally happen and they don't affect you so much. So after that, we will have April 2nd, which is a Venus-Neptune conjunction at 27 degrees. This is a very important day because we are bringing together a sense of our values and our happiness, and whether that it works, whether that's in our awareness, whether we're able to get it, by what means we're able to get it. And so this day is a very spiritual day. It falls on a Tuesday, so if you can create any type of ritual around letting go, around letting things fall, so that the inner part of the onion of who you are emerges and is more valued and more purposed, instead of just allowing the wind to take you, or allowing the sea to your boat and take it off into the distance. Pull cards for this day. This is a day that the ethereal realm or the cosmic realm might speak to you. A good day to speak to your ancestors. If you are into angels or any of those types of things, it's a really good day to get into that. And it's a good day to ask for new beginnings when it comes to money and overall happiness, and asking for the signs needed and the steps needed to get to that destination. The total solar eclipse is happening on Monday, April 8th. There will be a video on this, so I won't harp too much, but it's coming. Saturn conjunct Mars on Wednesday, April 10th. So this is going to be a day where you're going to need to be very careful on the roads. The Saturn and Mars, as well as Mercury being in retrograde, it's going to bring a lot of people that are not going to be fully aware of what is around them. And they're going to be kind of scattered. And it's going to be on a Gemini day. So Wednesday, it's a day for just moving and transit and going from point A to point B and getting more information. And so this day, people will be focused on that and kind of less focused on what's around them. And so be careful with travel. Properly tag your items if you are going on a plane. And just be aware of what the people around you and what's happening. April 17th, there will be a Jupiter-Uranus conjunction in Taurus. They have been having this dance with each other for quite some time, but this is an activation time. This is putting your money where your mouth is. This is focusing on bringing yourself into a very simple yet practical alignment with your money, with your practices, with your physical belongings. Maybe it's a time to get rid of things. Maybe it's a time to upgrade things, trading one for another. Maybe you might trade in your car. That could be a big thing. Transportation wise, you could get a level up. So if you've been looking for new wheels, if you've been looking to solidify something, if you've been looking to create a belief system or start a practice that is bodily centered, this could be a very good day to start it. April 17th. And then Taurus season begins Friday, April 19th. And so we'll have another video about Taurus season and what we're supposed to do for that time. But that is all I have for you. So again, I am having a class on AstroStar Wednesday the 20th. I implore you to come work on your sixth chakra with me. Together, bring ourselves back into our bodies and start to learn the new technologies that have been upgrading our systems, coming back online, coming back into the communities, and telling our stories about where we've been. I look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you so much for joining me. It has been an absolute pleasure to be here, and I look forward to continuing the conversation. My name is Key Tyler. You can find me on all the social medias, and I wish you the best year moving forward. 2024 is going to be something quite different. I know that there are things that you can focus on that will and can make you happy, things that are coming for you. And I hope that that trumps everything that's going on. Thank you for joining me. Blessings. Ase. So much love for you and your life experience. And I'll see you next time. Peace.